Hello, FlossTube. This is AM, Dreamingstitcher. I'm here to post a video for all those FlossTube viewers out there who are interested in cross-stitch, but it's not going to be a cross-stitch update. It's going to be, instead, I hope, the first of what I expect to be a whole series of videos on the ridiculous amount of cross-stitching projects that I have accumulated. They definitely beat the acronym SABLE, so I am going to be calling these my SABLE videos. I'm sure many of you already know that's an acronym that means Stash Acquired Beyond Life Expectancy, which in itself is nothing to brag about. There are so many people in the world with so little that those of us who are blessed enough to be able to over-accumulate something as unnecessary to life as craft supplies really need to be aware of the blessings that we do have. And I assure you, I know it. And I am not here to throw things up in people's faces and say, look at what I've got. No, that's not it at all. There are several reasons for doing these, mostly just to share these projects that I'm very enthusiastic about, but that I know, my rational mind knows, I will never get stitched. Some of them certainly, and the possibility is there for me to stitch any one of them at any time. But to stitch them all is not going to happen. It can't. Nobody could live long enough to stitch all the things I've got. Nonetheless, I like to look at them. They interest me, and I hope they interest some of you. If you are not someone that likes seeing projects that are not being stitched and you don't want to watch these, I'm not the least bit offended if you want to tune out. That's fine. I do plan to keep these videos kind of short. I'm thinking maybe cutting them off at about the 30-minute mark each time so that they're not intolerably long. But I can assure you there's going to be a lot of them if I end up filming all of my stash. And that would include kits and books and charts and all of it, all the projects that I have gathered together that I would love to do, and I'm probably take out the probably, and I'm never going to get all done. But maybe you want to see them. Maybe it's like someone that goes to a quilt show just to look at the beautiful quilts. Of course, these aren't finished like the quilts. Maybe you're someone that likes to look at pictures of art, because that's basically what you're getting, is pictures of these projects of what they could be if they were ever made. They always look better when they're made, don't they? I hope to be stitching some of them in the future and to be able to show them to you. But for now, if you'll be kind enough to indulge and just sit back and relax, I've got 3 boxes here of what I call my smalls. This one is a shoebox sized container. All 3 of these are very full, and if I stitched only them and nothing else, they'd keep me busy for years. I can tell you I have far larger kits and collections, along with many charts and many things I want to stitch. This is just a little taste of it. I hope the sound will be okay for you. I hope that the glare won't be too much. I hope, all in all, that it'll be a decent video so that you can enjoy what you see. I'm going to start just right in. I can't say that these are terribly well organized. The ones in the larger boxes and the ones in my chart boxes and things like that have been organized to some extent. So for example, one of my large containers has all of my floral and botanicals, for example. And when I do those videos, I will try to tell you that that's what's being shown on that day. But with these smalls, it's all miscellaneous. You're going to get a little of everything. They do tend to come from kind of the same designers or companies because that's who I had an interest in. But there could be, as far as theme, almost anything here. Still, you'll get an idea of what I do and don't like to stitch from what you see. So here we go. I'm diving into the first box. And what I'm coming up with is something that I got from Vervaco. Well, that's the maker. I think I ordered it online from either the Stitchery or Hirschner's. Most of what I show you today, most of what I show you today I'm sure is still available out there. I expect this was on clearance when I got it. I'll try to tell you enough about each so that if you were interested in stitching it yourself, you could maybe have enough details to make a decision. These are sachets, and they actually come with the filling. It's very strong odor. I believe it's lavender. They come with the fabric, they come with the floss. This is on 18 count. And I really do need to restrict my buying a bit more because I can't say that I love this piece. I like it very much. I liked it enough to order it. They had it at my price point. And I definitely have mental price points for things. I can't tell you what they are until I see the project and the number. But when it's too high, I won't touch it. And when it falls within my price point, I'll start considering things that maybe I wouldn't have thought of otherwise, which is not good. I shouldn't be buying them if I don't absolutely love them. This is another one. Same idea. It was available at a markdown price. Not super cheap by any means, but it still fell within my mental price point. It's another Vervaco set of sachets. I love the little winter village up there and the birds. Again, it comes with the stuffing that goes into these so that they become little potpourri bags. It's on an 18 count fabric. You can't really see with these, but you do need to sort the floss yourself. Again, from Hirschner's or the Stitchery. Now these next several, are also sachets from Vervaco, but these came from the big Hobby Lobby clearance that they had a year or two ago. And they do not come with any kind of potpourri to put inside your sachets, but it gives you a better idea of how they're packaged. You can see there's fabric, you can see there's floss. I'll try to tell you when I'm able what size fabric we have here. This is 18 count. And I liked the little owlets, and I think I had the idea that if only I had the sewing skills for it, I would make them into Christmas ornaments rather than sachets. I don't know how doable that is. Maybe if they were stitched up as little pillows, you could hang them in a tree. But somehow with the ornaments in mind, I got two. Now they are small. When it comes to stash acquired beyond life expectancy, there's no reason I couldn't stitch up some of these little tiny ones. They're not huge projects. It's just when you have more and more and more and more that it becomes apparent you'll never get them all done. Here's another set of the sachets. This time a different design. Again, with me probably thinking that I would like to do them as ornaments rather than stuffing them with anything. You can see the fabric, you can see the floss, you need to sort it yourself. It amazes me sometimes how much with kits the floss will look like it's tons, and in some other kits it will look like there couldn't possibly be enough there for your purposes, and you never actually know until you stitch them which is true. Okay, couple more Vervacos in this box, and I can't say that there aren't going to be more in the later boxes as well, but this just happened to be the ones that fit in a shoebox. These are bookmarks. Again from the big Hobby Lobby clearance, which means most likely if you've been watching my videos a long time, you've seen these before, because I remember showing them when I did my Hobby Lobby purchases. But I love books. I've never actually used a cross-stitch bookmark as a bookmark. I've made cross-stitch bookmark, but I haven't actually put it in my book. I guess maybe I'm afraid to. There again is the fabric and the floss. Floss always looks so pretty, all packaged up and ready to go. This one could use some more colors in it. A lot of blacks and grays and yellows. But it's going to be pretty when it's made, I'm sure. And here is a set of bookmarks that I ordered online, which means, again, they must have been marked down or on sale in some way, because I don't think I would have paid the full price. They would have had to get them down to my price point. But I like that little winter village scene, that little European feel to it. I'm just admiring those. If I pause, it's because I'm looking at what I've got. I'd like to make them. I'd like to make all of them. And somehow the small ones seem so much more doable than the big ones, that there's a little less guilt maybe that goes along with buying them. Don't know. Here's another Hobby Lobby clearance. These are in style, kind of a companion to another piece that I stitched and showed you that had a bear. They're very retro. Something about that retro design appealed to me. You can see, again, the floss is something you have to sort. The quality of the materials I found perfectly acceptable on the other ones that I did, so I don't have a problem with that. Same with Janlin. I've stitched with Janlin before. This was another Hobby Lobby clearance. A little bit of fungi. I have a feeling I may have ended up with more than one of these, but I haven't seen another so far. So I could be wrong. This one comes with the hoop you need, with a needle, with the floss, the fabric. Now, I was saying the materials seemed nice on some of those. Not so with Artiste. I ended up with two of the same, kind of on purpose, from Artiste. You can sort of see the fabric in there. It's kind of a brownish even weave. Should be interesting to stitch on. But the floss that comes with Artiste kits is really trashy. It shreds when you work with it. You can't make a mistake and pull it out again and expect to reuse the floss that you have pulled out, because it self-destructs almost every time. You have to put the stitches in right the first time. I liked the design of these bookmarks. I find it intriguing that they were both there on clearance, but one is in brown packaging, one in black. They took one sort of photograph in their marketing designs for one and something different for the other. Which would you have found more appealing if you were shopping? What would you have told the people who designed this packaging to pick? I'm thinking the brown one. I'm thinking the one where you get the close-up detail. But I think the black packaging might actually be the newer packaging. It is. The black packaging is 2015, the brown is 2011. But I think that the 2011 packaging appeals more. The black one, though, does let you see the floss and everything. Anyway, just an aside there. I like design things. I like to think about stuff like the packaging. I'm just weird that way. I'm sorry. Here's another Artiste, also found on markdown. Not the big Hobby Lobby sale, but later on clearance. It's called Horse. You can see the floss and the fabric and a little bit of the chart. Sorry, that does happen with these packages. And I guess if you like the what do they call that series of collectible horses? I'm drawing a blank on it, but if you're into things like that, you might like that little horse. Okay, this one is from a totally different maker, and I have another companion piece with it. It must be in one of the other boxes. This is from Serendipity Designs by Carolyn Meacham. It's called Azaleas. It's on linen. You can see the floss and the linen in the packaging. And I've had it for quite a while, but I hesitated to make it because I wasn't super comfortable on linen. I think I'm much happier with my linen skills now, and I would like to make that. It's very pretty. I'd like to get that done. Okay. The rest of what's in this box are all from Textile Heritage. Some of them I got at my local needlework shop, or not so local. Some I ordered online from places like So-and-So. I really miss So-and-So. Some I may have first seen at things like the Celtic festivals that they will hold occasionally. You will notice kind of a similar theme to these. I like things medieval. I like things relating to my Celtic heritage. You're going to see a lot of similarity among these pieces. What you will not see is that although they're small, and I would love to stitch them, I'm very much tied to the rules for things. And so if a kit says stitch it this way, I stitch it that way. And I don't mean in terms of changing colors or anything like that. I mean, with these Textile Heritages, the one I've done had me stitching in a completely different manner than normal. I usually make my X's lower left to upper right, moving from the left side to the right side of the fabric. The Textile Heritage had me do it backwards. The crosses were done reversed. They had me moving from right to left, and I did it, but boy did it take some getting used to. It was all backward for me. So every time I look at these and think, oh, they're small, they're easy, I should do one of those, I remember the mental adjustment I have to make to stitch these designs. And I want them to turn out right, so I tend to do what it says. Anyway, this is a medieval garden scissor keep, as you can well see. It comes with all the materials, the fabric, the floss, which you do have to sort yourself, even the cording for the tassel. I've never used a scissor keep. I don't know whether I would use a scissor keep, but I love the design. Here's a medieval posy. It actually says a medieval plaisance. It's a cross-stitch card kit. I would not send these as cards. I'm sorry. But I love the packaging. Again, if I'm going to talk about things like the marketing that people do, isn't that lovely the way they bundled that floss to make it look so appealing when you look at the package? I could make it as a card, but I'm not going to send it away. I'm going to keep it. Sorry, folks. I'm like that. You just learned something unappealing about me. Sorry. Tudor rose. 2 of them, and they look so much alike. One is a coaster, one is a card. I think possibly they are on different counts of fabric, but it's a little hard to tell because they both look tiny, like 18 count, and none of this packaging actually says whether it is or isn't. It's possible there's more of a border. I think that this coaster actually has all that white space around it, and the card pretty much goes to the edges of the card. So the card might actually be maybe more of a 16 count instead of an 18 count. Not sure. But they are Tudor, as you can tell. I like them. I like the colors. You probably can't see how pretty and red those are. One of them has the beautiful floss packaging, and the other looks much more ordinary. But they're both nice. I like them. I'd be happy to make them. Okay, this one appeals to my love of things Celtic. It's a Scottish thistle. I have several kits related to thistles. This is definitely the smallest one. Again, it says it's a card, and the floss is beautifully packaged. Just looks so appealing when they do that. Isn't he cute? Okay, maybe you don't think he's cute. Floss tubers are always pointing out things that they say, isn't this cute? I think he's cute. He's a wee Highland coo, and I like Highland cows. I've never actually, I don't think, met any Highland cattle in person. Even the cattle that we have around here, you know, Longhorns and Herefords and so on, I can't say I've ever walked up to in person much. Maybe at the county fair or the state fair, yeah, but these guys just have been rendered in a way that I find very appealing. One is a key ring, one is a card kit. One obviously is just a face, one's the whole thing. They're both charming. You can see the packaging varies a little bit. I'd love to make those. I could make all these smalls, couldn't I? Sure. There's not too many so far. If I just didn't have all those other boxes and drawers of cross stitch to do. Welsh. I'm not only Scottish, I'm also Welsh. And when I say I am, I mean genealogically speaking. Grandparents, maternal grandparents do go back to some Irish and things, but mostly it's my paternal side. My maternal grandparents, my father's maternal side is Welsh, and his paternal side was American, but of Scottish descent. My father's mother was an immigrant from Great Britain. Anyway, Welsh. We have Welsh in us. That's all I'm trying to say. And genealogically speaking, we also have Irish and Manx and Scottish and Welsh all together. Which is neither here nor there, but it explains why I want to stitch those things is all. Here we have heraldic roses. Not the same as the Tudor roses, but you can see a lot of similarity nonetheless. I think those are lovely. I don't know if you can see how beautiful and bright those red colors are, but one's a scissor keep, one's a coaster kit. I would love to stitch any or all of these things. And again, the packaging varies, but These are just sort of the floss bundled up. They're not in the pretty loops that I admire. Okay, I have time to start on box number 2. I don't know how the sound has been going. I know when I turn towards the microphone, you're probably getting a very different sound effect than when I'm away from it. But I'm going to try to pause you here and hope that it's all recording nicely and that we're going to end up with something that's somewhat watchable when I'm done. Although it would probably help if I stopped jiggling the table. Pause. Okay, so that wasn't a terribly long pause for you, but while it was going on, I did bang into my microphone and have to reset it, and there's no telling what you're hearing now, what's going on with my sound. I might end up with a video where the entire second half is worthless, but we will see what happens. I am diving into box 2. Box 2 is larger than box 1. Again, this is my stash acquired beyond life expectancy, so by the time we get through all of these, you'll know why I'm calling it that. Although, since I do kind of plan to cut this off at the half-hour mark, you may not today get that full impression, but I promise you there's too much stuff here. Okay, we start off with what's on the top of the box, which is some more Textile Heritage pieces. These are bookmarks that happen to be laying above the other things in the box, just so that they would fit. I got these pretty recently, I think last summer from so-and-so, just before they disappeared. I miss them badly. I'm very sad about them going away. Again, like other Textile Heritage kits, they come with the floss and the materials you need, including the materials for the tassels. These are backed with felt. Some of their older ones actually had much nicer backing materials than that, you know, actual ribbons and things like that. This is some more heel and coos. 3 different designs, all adorable, I think. And I am entitled to my opinion after all. Again, with some felt for backing, with a bookmark that's all ready to go, with a tassel. The thing that makes me hesitate is that backward to me stitching that I'll need to do to get them done, but it is what it is. This one is a Scottish thistle bookmark. If it looks familiar, that other Scottish thistle I showed you is part of the same design. This came from a Celtic festival. And it comes with a plaid ribbon for the back. Maybe not the ideal width for the backing, but nicer than felt, I would say. And I suppose one could double up and do both. If it's not wide enough, you could maybe have felt underneath the plaid. I'm not sure. Anyway, those are the bookmarks that were at the top of this box. I haven't said a whole lot about each of these because none of those packages had a lot of information about things like the count of the fabric and that sort of stuff. I'll try when I have things with more information to tell you more. So these next few, I believe, no telling whether I bought them in a store or online. I know they're available out there, but they are from Leisure Arts, and you have probably seen these, especially if you are a Teresa Wentzler fan. I have 4 small Teresa Wentzler pieces in this box. They're actually almost too big for the box because they're making the lid kind of bulge up when I try to close it. But if you're familiar with her, you know that it's going to involve lots of blended threads and many symbols in the chart and all the things that make Teresa Wentzler a bit of a challenge. These are kind of, because they're small, they're a little more cartoony than her larger pieces. This is Castle Ridge. This is Gentle Creature. Sorry, I'm trying to turn them so that possibly the glare is not terrible. But Gentle Creature does have a little castle in the background. Again, more than enough floss, it looks like, to make this thing. They appear to be on, that looks like 18 count. Yes, 18 count. This is actually going to be a 5x7 when finished. I'm sure they're all similar in size. 5 inches by 7 inches, that is. And I have 2 more. Those are not actual price tags on them. There's some kind of warehouse sticker or something. I don't know what we've got there. This is Above the Clouds. I think these designs are also available in collections of her charts. So even if one did not have the miniature kits, one could go out and get the charts to make these designs if you like them. Again, it's going to be a 5x7, and it looks like it has more than enough floss, even though they're not completely full coverage. They cover a significant portion of the fabric, but I'm just mentioning that because there are some kits where it doesn't seem like you could possibly have enough floss to finish them. And this is Peacock Majesty. Another pretty little miniature. I've had these for quite a long time. Isn't that the way of it when you acquire too many things to stitch up? You've got more than you can do in a reasonable amount of time, and they just start piling up. Don't get done. Okay, this next batch, I kind of went on a binge. I've showed you that I stitched something from NP Designs, a couple of somethings, little pots, Southwestern Potteries, and I think I've shown you that I have some charts of theirs. I went on a binge, and between eBay and their actual site, because they are a store in Albuquerque, New Mexico with a website, I ended up with a whole bunch of NP Designs. So if this video only goes to about 30 minutes, this may be the last of what you see from this box, just because there's so many of them. But I assure you, I've got a lot more in the box to come back to in my next video. And they're not all going to be this. But let me show you some of the NP Designs I got. So they come with the floss and the fabric when they are kits. The company was NP Designs. They now, their website goes under the name Southwest Decoratives. So if you're looking these up somewhere like eBay or anything, you can use both search terms. This one was with a set of 3 from eBay, so it has these cute little horses. It's just a rug. Most of these are going to be from the Rugs of the Southwest series. But I got it in part because of the other 2 it was bundled with. This was one of them. Again, more than enough floss for what you need. It comes with the fabric. They're 14 count fabrics. This is a rug design called Wide Ruins. And they vary a little bit in size. This one's the horse one will be 6 by 8 inches. This says it's 5 3/4 inches by 9 inches. So really, depending on the design, you get different results. And I was fortunate enough to go to a stitching shop when visiting my sister that had a number of these on display. That's sort of what set off my binge, was they had shop models of a lot of these rugs, and this is one that I was seeking out because of the shop model. I ended up finding it on eBay, and pardon me if I don't know how to pronounce these, but this is Clagato too, I think, and it's really pretty stitched up. There are the flosses. Sometimes the images for the charts for these Southwest Decoratives, the colors do not look at all like the actual flosses that are provided. But you can see that's going to be red and white and black and gray. And it's really pretty. Really, really. Here's one where, looking at the packaging, and this does say Southwest Decoratives. I think this is the 3rd one that came with the horses. It looks like you've got yellow there. Gray and black and white and yellow for 2 gray hills. But when you look at the actual floss, it's not yellow at all. It's kind of a brown. And that does happen with a lot of their patterns, I've noticed. And if you didn't like it, if you had just the chart, you could swap the colors to a color that looks more like what you want. But the actual floss colors and the photography don't match up all that closely. This is another of the Clagato designs. This is Clagato 3. This one I think I ordered from the company, directly from their website, from Southwest Decoratives. There's their name, Southwest Decoratives. I think I went online. They have deals on shipping and things periodically. You know, you could try to get a good deal if you can. I think I ordered this from them online. Again, I can't pronounce it. Dinabito, black. I could look it up, try to figure out how to pronounce it. And that pretty colors. I said earlier I like design, I like graphic design. I like things to be realistic if it's something like wildlife or animals, but I like these Southwestern designs. The Native Americans that came up with these things, they just had a beautiful sense of abstract design, and I love the results. This is Germantown 2. Again, a little one. This one's 3 3/4 inches by 5. So when you see them stitched up, they can tend to be pretty tiny. They package them with 14 count Aida all the time, but you could do it on a different size, of course, if you wanted to. This is Storm Brown. I think that one is an eBay purchase. I'm sure it is. Again, I got several of them in sets of things, and I don't know which ones were packaged with which. Maybe all these browns and oranges and blacks wouldn't suit some of you, but it's just, I like the result. I like what you get. And here's the first of the Clagato designs. Again, they all share a similar color palette, red and black and gray and white. Plenty of floss there. They're named after a trading post in Arizona. It's telling me that. It has notes inside. I told you there were a lot of these. We're going to go a little over the half hour. And by the way, I have more charts and things in another box, but I think this is all the smalls that are these little rugs. Tree of Life 2, Monument Valley Pictorial. I can't afford real Native American rugs, but I saw the most charming rug ever once at the, I think it was at the Museum of Northern Arizona. Instead of the traditional designs like this, it had little volcanic peaks, which they do have in Northern Arizona, and dinosaurs. Oh Lord, I liked that. I really liked it. I didn't ask the price. I know I couldn't afford that. What do we have here? Oh, that's the eBayer. Thank you, eBayer. Storm 2. Much more gray. Same colors as the Clagatos, but totally different design than the other Storm. And this one, if you just want to sample them, is 4-in-1. They're tiny ones, but you get a little of each this way. You have kind of one of the Storms. You get one of the Tree of Lives. Can't remember the name of that one. But aren't they pretty? Altogether, they're still only 5 1/4 by 7 1/2, so they just sort of miniaturized them to give you a taste of what they would look like. And last one, we'll be wrapping up this first smalls video, is 2 Gray Hills 2, and I think I actually have the chart for this one. One of the 2 Gray Hills I have the chart for. I got it at that shop where I saw them stitched up, but then as I was buying things in batches on eBay, it happened to be in one of the eBay batches. And again, look how brown and gray and so on that can be. That looks much more like the actual picture than some of the others do. Okay, how did this video turn out? I don't know. I actually tried to film it multiple times and was having so many sound issues that I gave up. I don't know how this one has turned out. I don't know if it's going to be any good to watch. I don't know if I said what I meant to say in it, but hopefully it has at least accomplished its purpose. I have showed you some of my SABLE, given you an idea of what I like to stitch, given you an idea of what you might see in future videos a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and maybe film a second one today and see about posting both. Don't feel obliged to watch them both at the same time or to even watch the second one if you didn't like this first, but I do want to keep them to a reasonable length, so that's why I'm not going to try to do it all in one. But I will be filming the second half of that box and maybe starting on the next one. And I will try to tell you a little bit about the designers and the kits if I can think of it. Mostly I just want you to see this beautiful stuff. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.